Uncle Bart was kidnapped. I thought it was a dream, but it was real. They took him. He was one of the first graduates in our community, the first doctor, and was the only professor of medicine in neurology. He was a man of timber and caliber, a born leader. He had been a helper, a supporter, and a solution provider right from secondary school. If you go around our village, you will find different projects he did by himself or sponsored with his own money. The water project in our community was actually a well, but he traded it for drinking water. Uncle Bart dug that well by himself. He started with his friends, but within a week his friends were tired and Uncle Bart refused to give up. And as soon as he finished the well, he also started helping the market women build stalls at the village square. This was necessary because the rain in my village can fall for 24 hours non-stop. Uncle Bart was always concerned about people. He made several trips to the local government office so they could bring electricity to our village. In fact, because of this singular act, our village head wrote a letter to the governor. Just like that, the governor took Uncle Bart's case seriously and submitted his application to a university in Germany for full scholarship. It was successful. Everyone was happy and proud of him, our own son of the soil. Even when he left, he kept giving back to our community. He sponsored showers and public toilets near the farms. No one really used the streams anymore, except for fishing. He built different boreholes and finally a clinic. He refused to stay back in Germany. He returned home and started a hospital in the city. And do you know what? Anyone from our village was treated in that hospital for free. Uncle Bart was an angel in the open. He had a heart for people. But there was a problem, a big problem. What was it? When Uncle Bart wanted to choose a wife, he chose someone from another tribe, from another state, who spoke a different language entirely. Yes, his parents were very old, but my father and the rest of his kinsmen were spitting fire. They refused to allow Uncle Bart to marry the lady, and they also refused to follow Uncle Bart to the lady's village for the wedding. My father and Uncle Bart's fathers were brothers, but my father was older. All his siblings were proud of Uncle Bart, but the problem was nobody liked his wife. It's not that Iyawo was a bad person, no. We called her Iyawo because of her tribe, but her name is Constance. She gave birth to 4 girls for Uncle Bart, and even though they were happy with their children, they insisted that Uncle Bart needed to marry another wife from our own village, and probably that wife will give him a male child. Uncle Bart explained and explained. I am the one responsible for a child's sex. I determined the chromosome, but the village people did not accept this. They began to plan and discuss how to deliver Uncle Bart from the clutches of Iyawo. When Uncle Bart was getting married, I just started my secondary school, the same school that he had disturbed the Commissioner of Education to build for us. He even provided the chairs and tables in the classrooms. It was during one of those visits that he brought his wife to the village and I met her. Iyawo was beautiful. If you didn't know her nationality, you would think she was foreign. I kept staring at her. Even after I was introduced to her, she noticed me and I told her the truth. I have never ever seen anyone as beautiful as you. Her hair was so long, her skin was like glass. You know, there are some people you can never get tired of looking at. Her voice was like music. She was just so attractive. Later, I got to know that the long hair was a wig, but it fit her so well even then. All the beauty she had, I'm telling you, it was too much for one person. Imagine my joy when Uncle Bart's wife decided to take me off all the relations to go and live with her in a new home. I was excited. My feet did not touch the ground. I could sense jealousy from my peers, but I didn't care. I was going to a new city. Opportunities were endless. I even thought I might see snow. Who cares that the city is only 3 hours away? Anything can happen in Nigeria. It was as if I was traveling abroad. My father was not happy about it. He called the king's men and they had a meeting in our living room. I was scared. I didn't want them to ruin my plans. When the elders gathered, Uncle Jumbo, my father's brother, was their spokesman. They called me into a meeting. Uncle Jumbo cleared his throat. Yesterday, he said to me, "You are a smart girl and we are proud of you. Our people say opportunity no dey knock door 2 times. Since Bart's wife has chosen you, they must be responsible for you. They must send you to school all the way to your doctorate. Do you hear? Tell your uncle you want to go to school. You two will travel abroad and take members of our community along." Yes, my name is Yesterday, just like in the movie, because my father feels that yesterday was easier. Today, things are tougher for him. Then he added, "As you enter their house, you will be our eyes and our ears. We want to know everything, even how much salt she uses to cook. Make it your business to know how that woman spent our brother's money." It was obvious they didn't like Iyawo, but they didn't care for Uncle Bart either. They only liked his money. Immediately after the wedding, I moved to the big city of Port Harcourt. I couldn't sleep for days. I kept pinching myself. If you see the big room Iyawo gave me, it had his own bathroom and I could flush as I pleased. That toilet suffered in my hands too. You just press a button and the water just spins around and round and carries everything away. Chai, that thing was like magic. To be honest, Iyawo was an angel too. She treated me with love. She wouldn't let me sweep or cook. I didn't even wash my clothes. All I did was read my books. For my clothes, I would put them in a metal box, and in an hour, when they came out, they were clean and dry. I didn't know where the water went as well. When Uncle Bart bought me the latest phone, I kept taking pictures of all the gadgets and telling my kinsmen I was in heaven. But whenever they instructed me to tell Iyawo to stop using all those gadgets and wash clothes with her hands next time, I just ignored them. They had 4 beautiful daughters and they all adored me. I was their big sister. I had my room and they also had theirs. I loved them so much. I made their hair, I taught them our dialect, and we cooked new dishes together. Even when the food spoiled, Iyawo didn't mind. On her WhatsApp status, she would write, "I am a mom of 5 queens." She added me. I was a queen. I enjoyed my time there. Uncle Bart later built another big hospital close to the house because Iyawo was a pediatrician. We never fell ill, but she checked on us regularly and warned us about dangers girls face in our society. Saturdays were for taekwondo. We all had black belts. Once a month, we traveled with Iyawo to my village to give the babies immunization. At first, when we started going, none of the women came out with their babies. Uncle Jumbo had discouraged them, but Uncle Bart started going with us and a crowd formed quickly, and in fact, eventually we had to build an immunization center in my community. I love visiting the village to see my mom, but I was never homesick. Once we finished all we came to do, I was the first person to be back in the car. The problem started when Uncle Bart bought a G-Wagon for Iyawo. That car was presidential. I sent my father a picture, and that was when hell broke loose. My father summoned Uncle Bart and demanded for him to buy the same car. Uncle Bart was confused, like how did they find out? But he calmly told them that he would buy them a car, even though he eventually bought my father a Kia Sportage. Uncle John Bull too started to bother him. They were not surprised, and eventually they insulted Iyawo that it was her fault that my uncle wasn't taking care of them like he was supposed to. I was only 18. I really didn't understand what I was doing. One night during the holidays, I was watching TV when I heard sobbing. I traced it to the kitchen. It was Uncle Bart and Iyawo talking, but Iyawo was crying. "They don't love me," she cried. "They don't know everything that I'm going through. They know everything happening in this house. They said I blocked their brother from marrying a woman that can give him a son. But I'm scared. These people may harm me if they get a chance." And Uncle Bart hugged her. "Don't worry, nothing will happen to us." I ran upstairs Before they saw me, my heart was heavy. I was the mole. Should I confess? What if I end up back in the village? God forbid. I decided I will not call my family people again. When my father called, I didn't talk too much. I just told him there was nothing new in the house. And he shouted, Iyawo must have finished my brother's money. I was just tired. I just greeted my mom and ended the call. I decided to reduce communication after that until that night. It wasn't strange for Uncle Bart and Iyawo to be awake at night. They were doctors. But the sound I heard was like high-grade firework. I ran out, and what I saw shocked me. I saw armed men bundling Uncle Bart into a waiting SUV outside. Iyawo was screaming. We started begging them. I ran to them. We ran to them. I even wanted to show them my taekwondo black belt skills, but they just zoomed off. I was shaking. Iyawo kept making calls left and right to find help. I gathered the girls and we decided to sleep in fear. When I couldn't take it anymore, I called my father. Daddy, I said, they have kidnapped Uncle Bart. My father replied, very good. I was shocked. There was no, when, how did it happen? Are you guys safe? The very good, he said, just exposed him. I knew they knew something about it. By evening, sympathizers had filled the whole house, and then my father, Uncle Jumbo, and some other kingsmen arrived. They didn't greet anyone. They marched in, shouting at Iyawo, "Where is our brother? What have you done?" Iyawo cried, "My kingsmen, welcome. These people, they demanded 100 million. Where will I see it?" Instead of comforting her, they mocked her, saying, "Go and sell your car and pay for it now." While they were still talking, a call came. She put it on speakerphone. Madam, where's the 100 million? Do you want to see your husband again?" It was the doctors. We were so scared. Iyawo begged them, please, and they shouted, "We are giving you 24 hours, they said. She dropped the phone and she began making calls. She started to call the bank. Uncle Jumbo shouted, "Go and bring the papers of this house. We will sell it on Monday. When you were enjoying new car, traveling to Dubai, this is time to pay ransom." Iyawo said, "Monday is too late. We just have 24 hours. Don't worry. I have already contacted the governor. He promised me that they would trace the call." Then my father shouted, "Nobody should pay any ransom. Give me the money, because you can pay ransom now and those rascals will still do what is in their mind." Iyawo burst into tears again. "How can you say that, Papa, yesterday? Do you not care about my brother?" My kingsmen ignored her and started speaking in our dialect, how they will use the house for a hotel. They were even arguing, as Uncle Jumbo said, no, they should just sell it outrightly. I was shocked. My shock was shocked. Soon the police came in and started discussing with Iyawo, and they took her phone and started working on it, and we all patiently waited for the next call. Hours passed. The kidnappers called again. "Where is the money? We have texted you the address," they thundered. "You are not cooperating. Send the money very fast. Send the money or you will not hear from your husband again." Next thing we heard Uncle Bart's voice, very weak. "Babe, please, they want to waste me. Call my kingsmen. Please just send whatever you have." The phone cut. Iyawo fell on her knees, begging my kingsmen. Later, I overheard them speaking in our dialect. "We have less than 24 hours. Let's wait. I don't think she has the ransom. So we'll take over everything as soon as those people do what is in their mind." My heart broke into two. So these people planned this. Should I tell Iyawo what I think? Before 20 hours elapsed, Iyawo was already feeling weak from the stress. I kept holding her. Most of the visitors had gone. It was just the girls and I and some of the security personnel. My kingsmen were not sympathetic at all. They were just excited. Do you know that my father went to the TV and tried to remove it from the wall? He said he was going to put it in the truck that they bought. Everybody looked at them in horror. Then there was a knock on the door. I ran to the door. No, it could not be. Do you know that Uncle Bart walked in alive, healthy, handsome as ever? I screamed. We all screamed. My uncles dropped the TV in shock. Iyawo ran to him in tears, and the girls too. I was just stand still. I couldn't move. Uncle Bart said calmly, "My people, is this how you repay me for my labor that I have done for you all? Thank you for showing me who you really are. Sometimes family are the worst people when it comes to showing love. You can all leave now." I was still in shock. I still couldn't say anything. But guess what? They all left in shame, confused and surprised. That night, I knelt down before Uncle Bart and Iyawo and I confessed. And they told me something. They said they knew I was the one feeding the kinsmen information, but they didn't expect their family to behave in such wicked way. After all, we were all blood. 6 months later, Uncle Bart, Iyawo, the children and I all relocated to Australia. I didn't tell my parents and they couldn't contact me because I changed my phone. I didn't want any more questions from them. It's been 2 years. I miss my mom. I'm prepping for medical school. Should I call them again? What do you all think? I don't want to start anything. I don't want to start any trouble. Please subscribe, like, and comment for more stories like this. Thank you all and see you in the next one. Goodbye.